Well, Rochester's East High School is part of a select group chosen to participate in the Student Spaceflight Experiments Program. It's a program that sends the hard work of high schoolers on a real mission to outer space. WXXI's Sasha-Ann joins us now with more.
That's right, Helen. A group of East High students have created a science experiment that's ready for takeoff. The trio spent weeks at the start of the school year writing a detailed proposal about how their project, which focuses on microgravity, could be useful in space. And success. Their big idea is heading to the International Space Station. I spent some time with those kids and the teacher who helped push the vision to new heights.
So you're putting the same wavelength of light through it, and then you're measuring the difference in absorbance.
When East High School chemistry teacher Mary Courtney submitted 3 proposals last fall for the Student Spaceflight Experiments Program, she couldn't wait to find out which one would take off, literally.
Because this was a very difficult project. It's probably the most difficult project that our students do in their entire time in high school.
As part of the program, students from 21 schools across North America were competing for the chance to have their science experiments that test how microgravity affects various organisms sent to space.
Well, that would be a way that we could compare the two.
Students Deontay Johnson, Taylor Davis, and Binti Mohammed were thrilled that their proposal was the winning one from East High.
Miss Courtney pushed us aside, and she brought the other 2 people that were involved, and she was like, "You guys won." I was like, "Are you serious?" I started freaking out.
They chose to conduct their research on a group of microscopic organisms called phytoplankton, which live in lakes and oceans. Through the process of photosynthesis, the organism produces half the oxygen we have on Earth.
So the question is, when this goes to space, is there an effect by not having gravity on the production of the chlorophyll? And the other variable that happens is this experiment is going to be kept in a dark container. And so it's not going to be exposed to oxygen.
Oh, you know you can move it?
Yeah, you can move it.
Yeah, right there.
Johnson is the captain of this student spaceship.
We had a couple of different choices, but we picked mine.
So this was your idea?
It was my idea, but I had to bounce, my idea off of them a couple times just to make sure we got it correct.
The final proposal was a true team effort, though.
There was parts we all had to do. Taylor was doing the introduction, and Deontay was doing part 3 and 4 and stuff like that. So Deontay reviewed it later on and changed some certain stuff that we needed to clarify or get into more detail with.
So why did they choose phytoplankton?
As the United States and other countries move forward with space exploration, the idea eventually is to be able to establish colonies, either on the moon, other planets, right? And so you've got to be able, when you're, if you're on Mars, you've got to be able to produce food.
That means the work is far from over. The 21 winning experiments will blast off in a mini laboratory to the International Space Station in June. The first order of business for the East High team is to figure out which type of phytoplankton they'll use.
And also which, type of mixture we're going to use to make sure they have enough nutrients when they go up into space.
The students are getting acquainted with a spectrophotometer, a machine that measures the intensity of light and is perhaps what will be their saving grace.
But are they moving?
And if you haven't guessed it already, there's a lot riding on this student project. Once the experiment is aboard the space station, astronauts will interact with it based on the guidelines set by these 3. As the person who's watched it all come to life, Courtney says she couldn't be more proud.
I want them to think completely differently about everything around them at the end of the year. And if I do that, if they think really differently about everyday subjects, then I've accomplished my goal.
Sasha-Ann, WXXI News.